Okay, hi Jamie. Thank you for coming. I've reviewed your resume and I'm so very excited to chat and to start. Why don't you briefly explain to me or walk through your background and what brings you to this point in your career?
Thanks Alex, I'm really happy to be here. I've spent the last 4 years working in digital marketing, primarily focused on B2B lead generation. I started at a creative agency as a copywriter, which gave me a strong foundation in messaging and brand voice. However, I realized I wanted to be more involved in the strategy side. So I moved to the Tech Flowing Corporation as a marketing associate. There, I managed to generate email automation in paid social campaigns. I'm particularly proud of our LinkedIn campaign I ran last year that increased our qualified leads by 20% quarter-over-quarter. Therefore, I'm looking to move on now because I want to specialize more in data-driven growth marketing. And I know Epic Solutions has a reputation for a very innovative, metric-heavy campaigns.
Wow, that's a very great summary. You mentioned the shift from creative to strategy. That's actually very relevant to this job, and we actually need someone who can write good copy but also make a spreadsheet. Alright, now let's dig into that LinkedIn campaign you mentioned. Can you walk me through your process and how did you determine your target audience and how did you measure the success?
Sure, we were launching a new SaaS product for HR managers. So in terms of research, I started by interviewing our sales team to understand the most common pain points they were hearing. The big one was time management. So from the creative perspective, instead of just talking about our software features, I created a downloadable HR time audit template. So basically, the ads promoted this free tool rather than the software directly. So our targeting, I used LinkedIn's match audiences to get HR directors at companies with about 50 to 200 employees. And in terms of our metrics, my primary KPI wasn't just clicks, but cost per marketing qualified lead, MQL. We managed to lower our CPA from $150 to $85 only.
Alright, that's a solid reduction in CPA, but let's say that the campaign didn't work. Let's say you launched it and spent around 2,000 in the first week and got 0 leads. What would you have done?
That's a great question. If I saw 0 conversion after a week, I audit the funnel from the bottom up. So I will be checking the tag. Is the landing page from actually working? Is the tracking pixel firing? And then I will check the offer. If people are clicking but not downloading, the landing page might be disconnected from the ad creative. And then last but not least, I will be checking the audience. If no one is clicking at all, the creative is likely the issue, or the audience is too broad. I will likely pause the budget, and the A/B test is radically different from the headline, and we start with a smaller daily spend to validate the fix.
Exactly the answer I was looking for. We troubleshoot a lot here. Marketing is rarely a solo act here. You'll be working with sales and product teams constantly. Tell me about a time you had a disagreement with a stakeholder or a team member. How did you handle it?
At my last job, the product manager wanted to delay a launch email because a minor feature wasn't ready. However, the marketing team had already teased the date to our subscribers. I knew delaying would hurt our brand trust. I set up a quick 15-minute sync with the product manager, and instead of demanding that we launch, I asked him to explain the risk of the missing feature, which is, it turned out it was a nice to have, not a bug feature. I proposed a compromise. We launched on time, but we changed the email copy to focus on the core features and leave out the one that wasn't ready. He agreed, and then we launched on time, and the open rate was above industry average.
Very good approach. Empathy is key in cross-functional work. And one last question from my side. What is a marketing trend you are currently ignoring? Everyone talks about what they are doing. but I want to know what you think is a distraction to this marketing trend.
Well, honestly, threats for engaging heavily on every new taste-based app. For B2B, I think the fragmentation of social platforms is a distraction. I believe in doubling down on where our customers spend money, which is usually through email and search, rather than trying to build a presence on a platform that doesn't have robust end targeting yet.
Alright, I agree. We tried it for a month and paused it. Okay, so we have a few minutes left. Do you have any question for me?
Yes, I have two. First, looking at the team structure. How does the marketing team interface with the sales team? Is there a shared revenue goal?
Yes, we actually have a weekly marketing meeting. Marketing is responsible for lead quantity, but we share a KPI on lead quality with sales. If sales rejects the leads, it counts against us.
That's good to hear. Alignment there is crucial. My second question is, what does success look like in the first 90 days for this role?
That's a great question, Jamie. By day 19, I expect you to have fully audited our current email, automation flows, and propose a strategy to improve our retention rate by 5%. You wouldn't need to fix it all by then, but you should have the roadmap ready.
Understood. That sounds like a challenge I enjoy.
Perfect. Well, Jamie, we are wrapping up our first round of interview this week. You can expect to hear from our recruiter by Friday regarding next steps.
Thank you, Alex. I really enjoy learning about this role, and may you have a wonderful afternoon.
Alright, you too. Have a nice day, Jamie.